Hi, I'm Gillian Drake with the Vancouver Botanical Gardens Association, where our work and education programs at VanDusen Botanical Garden and Bloedel Conservatory are enjoyed by thousands of people every year. Today we're here at VanDusen Botanical Garden to see what's in bloom, so come along and join us as we take a walk through the garden. This is one of our earliest native BC plants to come into bloom. It's flowering red currant, and because it's so early, it's one of the favorites of the Anna's hummingbird as a nectar source. It's also known as Ribes sanguineum, which sanguineum means blood red. So if you have a look at the flowers, you can see how it got its botanical name. So we're up here in the Sino-Himalayan section of the garden, and we stopped at this beautiful patch of grape hyacinth to explore a little bit about a plant label so you remember how to read these labels and capture all of the information available to you. So if we start at the top and look down, we see that the common name is at the top of the label, followed by the botanical name, which is made up of the genus and the species. Latifolium is the species, which is interesting, it means broad leaf. Underneath that, you'll see the plant family name. This was a total surprise to me to see that grape hyacinth is in the asparagus family. After that, we have the native range of this plant where it originated. And at the bottom left, you'll see the accession number of this particular plant. So the way you read this is starting on the left, you see these first digits. Those tell you the year that the plant was acquired by the garden. The next set of digits shows you that this was the 456th accession into the garden that year, and this individual planting is number 121D. Next to that, you'll see what conditions the plant needs to thrive in the garden. So this one needs full or part sun, and this one here tells you that it does indeed grow from a bulb.
Hi, I'm Haley with the Vancouver Botanical Gardens Association, where our work and education programs at VanDusen Botanical Garden and Bloedel Conservatory are enjoyed by thousands of people every year. So I'm here standing next to a rhododendron plant, which is a great example of an early blooming flower that has really clear parts of the flower that you can kind of see and break it down. So right around you're going to see all these little guys, and those are the stamen. Stamen are made up of an anther and a filament, and that's where you're going to find the pollen is right on the end of those, which is going to be great for the bee going in there to get nectar when they accidentally get covered in the pollen that they're going to move to another plant. They then will move to another plant, and that pollen will go onto the stigma right here on the end and move down towards the ovary, which is where the seed's going to develop. That's really great because that's how we're going to have more plants, more fruit, and different veggies. Another cool thing to point out is these little pink dots we have on the flower. We call that a nectar guide. They're going to kind of guide the bee towards the middle of the plant, which is where the nectar is, where they're accidentally going to be picking up all that pollen that's going to allow them to pollinate all the other plants. So we're here in VanDusen Botanical Garden today, and we were really lucky to just catch a glimpse of our barred owl. So we do have some resident barred owls that live here on site, which is a great opportunity for us when we're teaching, when we're doing our bird walks. And it's also great that our garden here in the middle of the city can be a refuge for so many species of birds. We've had a really cool opportunity to actually see a great blue heron in a tree. So we'll often find these guys around the lakes as they're a fishing bird. They usually prefer shallow waters, intertidal zones. So they do really like our lakes we have down here. And they actually do nest in trees. So it's not uncommon to see them up in the trees. They do like to nest in really big colonies, and they have a huge range. Some of them going all the way up to Alaska, and certain subspecies all the way down into South America. Within the garden, we're kind of like a library, but instead of collecting books, we collect living species. Here at the garden, we have 8,000 taxa or unique types of plants. And it's a really great way to conserve and sustain sustainability and biodiversity within our communities. And that means conserving plants that are endangered. Just like books, some plants are more rare than others. One really rare plant or endangered plant that we have is a magnolia right behind me here. And we're part of international efforts to ensure that we're conserving and sustaining those plants. Thank you so much for watching today. For more information on the Vancouver Botanical Gardens Association, you can check out our website at vandusengarden.org.